Many gardeners love the idea of homemade fertilizers. Kitchen waste, simple ingredients, natural gardening, it sounds appealing. But the real question is not whether these fertilizers exist. The real question is, do they actually help plants, and why? Plants don't recognize homemade fertilizer or store fertilizer. They only recognize nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and a range of micronutrients. If a homemade input provides those nutrients in a form the soil and roots can access, it can help plants. If it doesn't, then it's just organic waste sitting in the soil. So in this video, we'll go through 5 simple homemade fertilizers, and more importantly, the science behind why they work. Let's start with one of the most common kitchen wastes: eggshells. Eggshells are made mostly of calcium carbonate. Calcium plays an important role in plant growth because it helps build strong cell walls. Think of calcium as a structural nutrient. It strengthens plant tissues and helps maintain the stability of growing cells. Calcium deficiency often appears in fast-growing parts of plants, especially fruits and new leaves. In tomatoes and peppers, one common symptom is blossom end rot, where the bottom of the fruit becomes dark and damaged. One interesting thing about calcium is that it moves slowly inside plants. It travels mainly with the flow of water moving from the roots upward. Because of this, plants need a consistent supply of calcium in the root zone. Eggshells can help recycle calcium back into the soil. When shells are crushed and soaked in water, small amounts of calcium begin dissolving into the liquid. Soil microbes can then help convert and release those nutrients slowly over time. Eggshell fertilizer won't completely solve calcium deficiencies if the soil system itself is imbalanced, but it can contribute calcium back into the soil ecosystem. Now let's look at another common kitchen input: banana peels. Banana peels are often recommended as a fertilizer because they contain potassium. Potassium is one of the 3 primary macronutrients plants need. While nitrogen supports leaf growth and phosphorus supports root development, potassium plays a major role in regulating water movement inside plants. It also helps move sugars produced in leaves toward fruits and storage tissues. This is why potassium becomes especially important during flowering and fruit development. When banana peels break down in soil or are soaked in water to make a liquid extract, they release potassium along with small amounts of other nutrients. These nutrients can support flowering plants and fruiting crops when integrated into a healthy soil system. Next, let's talk about something many people throw away every day: rice rinse water. When rice is washed before cooking, the water becomes cloudy. That cloudiness comes from starch and trace minerals released from the rice grains. This starchy water can actually serve as food for beneficial soil microbes. Soil microorganisms play a huge role in nutrient cycling. They break down organic matter, release nutrients, and help create a living soil environment around plant roots. Instead of directly feeding plants, rice water primarily feeds the microbial life in the soil. And healthy microbial communities often lead to improved nutrient availability for plants. Another useful homemade input is compost tea. Compost tea is made by soaking finished compost in water. During this process, soluble nutrients and beneficial microbes move into the liquid. When applied to soil, compost tea introduces microbial populations that can help with organic matter breakdown, nutrient cycling, and root health. However, it's important to understand that compost tea is not a miracle fertilizer. Its main role is biological support, strengthening the living ecosystem of the soil, rather than simply supplying large quantities of nutrients. Finally, one of the most powerful homemade fertilizers is something many gardeners already have: compost itself. Compost is essentially decomposed organic matter. As microorganisms break down plant residues, food scraps, and organic materials, nutrients are gradually converted into forms that plants can use. Good compost provides a balanced range of nutrients, improves soil structure, increases water retention, and supports microbial life. Instead of acting as a quick nutrient source, compost improves the entire soil system. And that's really the key idea behind effective gardening. Plants don't grow because of one ingredient or one fertilizer trick. They grow because the soil ecosystem works properly. Nutrients, microbes, organic matter, water, and root health all interact together. Homemade fertilizers can play a role in that system by recycling nutrients and supporting soil biology. But they work best when they are part of a broader soil health approach rather than a quick fix. For small gardens, backyard beds, and home growers, these simple inputs can be a practical way to return nutrients back to the soil. But understanding why they work helps you use them more effectively. Healthy soil builds healthy plants. And healthy plants always start from the ground up.